Cruise lines quietly collected over $1.2 billion last year from onboard charges that most passengers never saw coming. And the worst part, most of those charges were completely optional. You booked the cruise, paid for the cabin, paid for the flights, and you walked up that gangway thinking the spending was done. You were wrong, because the real money the cruise industry makes has nothing to do with your ticket price. It happens on the ship, in the shops, at the spa, and inside the casino, and it targets people who simply did not know any better. I have spent the last 3 years analyzing thousands of passenger complaints, and I am giving you the 12 specific charges you need to refuse the moment anyone on that ship tries to sell them to you in 2026. If you have ever come home from a cruise and felt like you spent twice what you planned, go ahead and subscribe right now, because every single video on this channel is built to make sure that never happens to you again. The tactics are getting more aggressive every year, and the passengers who walk away with money in their pocket are the ones who knew exactly what to say no to before they ever stepped on board. Number 1. The drink package. Here is what cruise lines will never tell you about drink packages. The math is designed to work against you. A 64-year-old retired teacher from Columbus bought the premium drink package on her Royal Caribbean sailing because the sales agent on the phone made it sound like an obvious deal. She figured she would drink 5 or 6 beverages a day and easily come out ahead. On day 1, she had 3 drinks. On day 2, she had 2. By day 4, she had stopped counting because she felt like she had to drink to justify the cost. She came home feeling bloated, exhausted, and still in the hole by over $200. Here is why this keeps happening. Cruise lines price drink packages at exactly the threshold where you have to consume roughly 8 to 10 drinks a day just to break even. That number is higher than what the average cruiser actually drinks, especially on sea days when you are exploring ports. The confusion is the strategy. They make you feel like you are getting a deal before you ever step on board, so the psychological pressure to drink more is already built in before you pour your first glass. Here is what you do. Track what you actually drank on your last cruise or on a typical vacation day. If it is fewer than 8 drinks, the package will cost you more than it saves. Instead, pay as you go and keep a running total in your phone. Most passengers who do this end up spending significantly less than the package price. Number 2. Ship-sold shore excursions. This one costs American cruisers hundreds of millions of dollars every single year, and the cruise line is counting on you not doing 15 minutes of research before you book. A 58-year-old from Phoenix paid $189 per person for a snorkeling excursion in Cozumel that was sold directly through the cruise line. The exact same boat, the same reef, the same guide was available on the dock for $45 per person. She found out from the couple sitting next to her on the tender. Here is the truth they are hiding. Cruise lines typically mark up shore excursions between 30 and 50% compared to independent operators offering the same experience. They justify this by saying the ship will wait if you are late, but independent operators in popular ports know exactly when ships depart and plan accordingly. Here is what you do. At least 1 week before your cruise, search the port name plus the activity you want on Google. Look for TripAdvisor reviews and local operator websites. Book directly and save the confirmation on your phone with the operator's number. The ship guarantee sounds reassuring, but it almost never comes into play, and it is not worth paying 40% more for peace of mind you will almost certainly never need. Number 3. Paid room service. This one quietly became a standard charge across nearly every major cruise line in the last 3 years, and most passengers do not find out until they are sitting in their cabin with a tray of food and a $10 fee staring back at them from the receipt. A 61-year-old from Nashville ordered breakfast delivered to her balcony cabin on a sea day because she wanted to watch the ocean while she ate. She had no idea the delivery now carried a service charge on top of the gratuity. She paid $22 for orange juice, a bagel, and scrambled eggs. Here is why this matters. That same breakfast was available at no additional cost in the main dining room, the buffet, and in several grab-and-go stations across the ship. Room service is the only version of that food that costs extra. The cruise lines repositioned the charge as a delivery convenience fee, but what they are really doing is monetizing your preference for comfort. Here is what you do. If you want to eat on your balcony, take the food from the buffet back to your room yourself. It takes 5 extra minutes and costs you nothing. Save room service for genuine emergencies, not casual mornings, and always confirm the fee before you order to avoid the surprise on your final bill. Now, before we keep going, if this video is already saving you money, share it with one person you know who is planning a cruise this year. The charges we are covering today are not hidden in the fine print. They are just never mentioned unless you ask, and that is exactly the point. Number 4. Onboard essential purchases. Here is the deal. The cruise ship Minimart exists to catch you the moment you forget something, and the pricing inside that store will genuinely shock you. A 67-year-old from Denver forgot to pack sunscreen. She found a small bottle in the ship's gift shop for $28. The same brand, the same size, was $8 at the CVS near her home port. A couple from Seattle forgot a phone charger and paid $45 for one that stopped working by day 3. Here is what is really happening. Ship stock essentials at prices that range from 2 to 4 times what you would pay on land because they know you have no other option once you are at sea. It is a captive market, and they use it deliberately. The same markup applies to over-the-counter medications, snacks, branded clothing, and basic toiletries. Here is what you do. Pack a printed checklist and go through it 48 hours before departure, not the morning of. Include sunscreen, pain relievers, motion sickness medication, a universal charger, a small first aid kit, and any snacks you know you like. A $12 investment in preparation at home eliminates a potential $150 mistake on the ship. Number 5. Art auction purchases. This is one of the most effective money traps on any cruise ship, and it is marketed so convincingly that intelligent, financially savvy passengers fall for it every single sailing. A 70-year-old retired attorney from Atlanta attended what was described as a complimentary champagne art event on her celebrity cruise. The atmosphere was festive. The art looked impressive. An auctioneer explained that these were investment-grade pieces by emerging and established artists, and that prices on the ship were significantly lower than gallery prices on land. She bought 2 pieces for a combined $1,600. When she got home and did her research, she found identical prints listed on secondary market sites for a fraction of what she paid. Here is the truth about onboard art auctions. The pieces sold are almost universally mass-produced prints or limited edition reproductions, not originals. The retail valuations cited by the auctioneer are not independently verified. The champagne, the lighting, the energy of the room, all of it is engineered to lower your resistance and create urgency. Here is what you do. Attend for the entertainment if you enjoy it, accept the champagne, but commit to yourself before you walk in that you will not buy anything that day. If you genuinely love a piece, take a photo, go home, research the artist and the work online, and buy it later through a legitimate gallery if it still holds its value under scrutiny. Number 6. Specialty restaurant upsells. Specialty dining on a cruise is already an added expense, and that is fine. The food is often genuinely better, the service is more attentive, and it makes a nice evening. The problem is what happens after you sit down. A 63-year-old from Chicago paid $55 per person for a premium steakhouse dinner on her Norwegian cruise. She was already excited and she felt like she was treating herself. Within 5 minutes of sitting down, the server presented a menu of premium add-ons, a $28 seafood tower, a $19 truffle side dish, a $35 wine upgrade, and a $22 dessert tasting. By the end of the night, her $55 dinner had turned into a $180 meal per person. Here is why this happens. Specialty restaurant covers are priced at a level that makes you feel like you have already splurged, which lowers your resistance to individual add-ons that seem small by comparison. A $28 appetizer feels reasonable when you have already committed $55 for the cover. The psychology is deliberate and it is extremely effective. Here is what you do. Before you sit down, decide on a firm total budget per person for the evening, including drinks and any extras. When the server presents add-ons, simply say you are going to stick with the set menu tonight. You will still have an excellent meal, and you will leave without a surprising charge on your statement. Number 7. Onboard Wi-Fi. Cruise ship Wi-Fi is one of the most complained about expenses in the entire industry, and the complaints are almost always the same. Too expensive, too slow, and impossible to cancel once you have paid for it. A 59-year-old from Portland paid $29 per day for what the cruise line called a premium internet package. She needed it to check in on her elderly mother back home and to stay in touch with her adult children. The speed on days when the ship was near port was tolerable. On sea days, it was nearly unusable. She paid for 7 days and got reliable service for maybe 3 of them. Here is why cruise Wi-Fi is priced so aggressively. The satellite infrastructure is genuinely expensive to operate at sea, but the per-day charges passengers pay far exceed what the actual cost justifies. The cruise lines know that in 2026, the majority of passengers will pay almost anything to stay connected, which means there is very little competitive pressure to lower the price or improve the service. Here is what you do. Download everything you need for entertainment before you board. Tell family members you will check in when the ship is in port and you can use local Wi-Fi for free. If you genuinely need connectivity throughout the sailing, buy the shortest package available. Test the speed on the first day, and if it is not functional, visit the internet desk and ask for a credit. Use the phrase, "The connection has been unusable, and I need a service credit." Many passengers who ask receive a partial refund without any additional negotiation. Number 8. Professional photography packages. Cruise ship photographers are talented, they are everywhere, and they are working on commission. The photos they take are genuinely good. The pricing is where the problem begins. A 66-year-old from Miami posed for photos at the captain's gala with her husband, at the gangway in Bermuda, and at a romantic dinner setup midship. She loved the photos. She walked into the photo gallery near the end of the cruise, saw all 3 images beautifully printed, and bought the package. She paid $279 for 9 prints and a USB drive. Here is the truth about cruise photography pricing. Individual photos regularly run between $25 and $50 each, and full packages can exceed $300. The photos are taken without any discussion of pricing up front, and the gallery is strategically positioned near the exits on the final days of the cruise when passengers are feeling nostalgic and emotionally open to spending. Here is what you do. Bring someone along who can take photos of you using your own phone, because the camera on a modern smartphone will produce prints that look excellent. If you do want professional shots, ask a fellow passenger to take your photo with a ship photographer present, then purchase only the single image you love most rather than the full package. This is also a great time to mention, if you want a complete list of what to bring and what to skip on your next cruise, there is a free guide linked in the description below. Thousands of people have already used it, and it takes about 10 minutes to go through before you pack. Number 9, the spa and first day sales pitch. The cruise ship spa is genuinely relaxing and a perfectly reasonable place to spend some of your vacation budget. The problem is not the spa itself. The problem is the sales strategy that activates the moment you walk through the door. A 68-year-old from Boston booked a single massage on embarkation day because it was advertised at a discounted first-day price. She enjoyed it, but during the treatment, the therapist mentioned that her skin showed signs of dehydration and sun damage, common and entirely believable concerns for a woman in her late 60s. By the end of the appointment, she had agreed to purchase a skincare regimen totaling $340 that she did not need, did not plan to buy, and did not use after the cruise. Here is why this happens on day 1 specifically. Embarkation day spa discounts are designed to create a trusting environment early in the sailing. Once a passenger has had a positive experience, they are significantly more likely to return, and more importantly, significantly more likely to buy products when they are relaxed and in a receptive state. Here is what you do. Enjoy the spa on your own terms. Book the treatment you want, tip appropriately, and when the therapist begins their product recommendation, use this exact phrase. I appreciate the suggestion, but I have a full skincare routine I am happy with, thank you. You will not be pressured further, and you will walk out with a great massage and your wallet intact. Number 10, the casino free play trap. Casinos on cruise ships are not incidental. They are engineered revenue centers, and the free play offers, complimentary drinks, and prize promotions that pull you through those doors are not generosity. They are calculated investments. A 62-year-old from Dallas walked into the ship's casino because he received a card in his cabin offering $25 in free slot credits. He used the free credits and did not win. He then spent $40 of his own money trying to recoup the near miss feeling the machine created, then $40 more. He left the casino down $80, and with 2 free drinks he did not really want. Here is the truth about complimentary casino offers. The free play credits are loaded with wagering requirements, minimum bets, and game restrictions that make it statistically unlikely you will convert them to withdrawable cash. The free drinks slow your decision-making. The near-miss programming on electronic machines is designed by people whose entire career is spent maximizing time on device. You are not playing against luck. You are playing against engineers. Here is what you do. If you enjoy gambling, set a hard budget before you enter and leave your room key and any additional cash in your cabin safe. When the money is gone, the evening is over. Do not chase. Do not use the ATM inside the casino, and treat any free play offer for exactly what it is, an invitation to spend more than you receive. Number 11. Duty-free jewelry and watches. The phrase duty-free carries a powerful implication that you are getting something at a price not available anywhere else. That implication is almost never accurate in a cruise ship retail context. A 71-year-old from Seattle bought a watch from the duty-free jewelry boutique on her Caribbean cruise. The salesperson showed her a comparison chart demonstrating that the same watch retailed for $680 in U.S. stores and that she was getting it for $510 on the ship. She felt like she was saving $170. When she got home and searched online, she found the same watch at 3 separate retailers for between $480 and $510. She had not saved anything. She had simply paid the same price in a more stressful buying environment with no return policy. Here is why the duty-free framing is so effective. Removing the tax component from a price feels like a meaningful discount, and in some product categories it genuinely is. But with jewelry and watches on cruise ships, the base price is often inflated above standard retail before the tax savings are applied, leaving the final number roughly in line with or occasionally above what you would pay on land. Here is what you do. Before your cruise, if you are genuinely interested in a specific piece of jewelry or watch, look up the retail price at home and write it down. Bring that number with you. If the ship price is not at least 20% below that number after you account for any additional fees, walk away. Number 12. Bingo and onboard prize games. Bingo on a cruise ship is presented as a fun social activity, and it is social, it genuinely is. The problem is the entry cost, which is almost never disclosed clearly in the promotional materials that slide under your cabin door. A 65-year-old from San Diego attended what was advertised as a free bingo event on a sea day. She arrived to find that cards cost $35 each, with most players buying 2 or 3 cards to improve their odds. The jackpot that afternoon was $200. There were 80 players in the room. The house collected over $5,600 for a $200 payout and a few smaller prizes. Here is the math they are hoping you never run. The odds on a standard cruise bingo game are dramatically worse than a community bingo hall on land. The prize pools are not proportional to the entry fees collected. The games are designed to feel like a close call every time, which keeps players buying additional cards in hopes of winning the next round. Here is what you do. Attend for the social experience if you enjoy it. Sit near the back and watch around before you commit to buying cards. Set a hard limit of 1 card per game and stick to it. If you came for fun and walked away with fun, that is a reasonable exchange. If you came to win money, the math is working against you from the moment the doors open. Those 12 charges will cost the average American cruiser between $800 and $2,000 per sailing if they are not paying attention. And that is money that should stay in your pocket. The cruise lines are not doing anything illegal. They are simply relying on the fact that most passengers are relaxed, in a generous mood, and not thinking critically about every transaction. Your awareness is the only defense you need, and now you have it. If this video gave you even one thing you are going to do differently on your next sailing, leave a comment below telling me which one it was. I read every single comment, and I use your responses to decide what to cover next. And if you are serious about cruising smarter in 2026, the next video you need to watch is the one on embarkation day mistakes that cost seniors their boarding spot entirely, because everything we talked about today becomes irrelevant if you never make it on the ship. Watch that one next. It is right here. I will see you there.